Let's talk manifesting, because somewhere between affirmations and algorithm trends, something that just started as self-awareness turned into performance art. And listen, I'm all for believing in your power, but when your dream life depends on the perfect morning, the perfect journal, and the perfect outfit, that's not manifesting. That's just micromanaging your destiny. So yeah, today we're going to get into the dark side of manifesting, the version that looks shiny online, but feels weirdly exhausting in real life. This is just another Manicc episode where we evolve out loud, unpolished, unapologetic, and unbothered. Every episode, we embrace our infinite paradox, the messy, cosmic, beautiful journey of becoming. Let me be real for a minute. This whole thing, the podcast, the content, the journey, it's all still very new to me. This is episode 5, and while the message behind the 4 was there, I wasn't. I got sick, I got stuck, and I felt like I couldn't pull myself back up. But when I started this podcast, I promised myself that I'd release 1 episode a week for 10 weeks, no matter what. Because the whole point of the space isn't perfection, it's evolution. It's about being unpolished and unapologetic while figuring it out. That's what Manicc episode is, the journey, not the finished product. The point I'm trying to make is that I'm manifesting my dream. I'm taking steps every day to achieve my end goal, wherever that might be. And although it's messy, I'm still doing it, and I don't think it should be compared to what we see online. So if you're listening, thank you. Thank you for being here while I grow out loud. And no, I'm just getting started. Expect big things in the coming weeks, and make sure to subscribe, follow, hit whatever buttons in front of you so you can stay part of the frequency. You're right where you're supposed to be. Now, let's talk about manifesting, because here's the thing. I'm manifesting a lot right now. I'm not anti-spiritual or against any woo-woo stuff. I actually believe that rituals, repetitions, intentions go a long way. We are human, energetic beings having a very physical experience. So of course, on some level, we can influence and shift energy. That's real, that's powerful. The problem isn't manifesting itself. It's the surface level toxicity that comes with it. The packaging, the checklist, the ideal that if you just do these 10 things in the perfect order, your life will finally align. That's not manifestation, that's manipulation. Real manifestation isn't about controlling everything, it's about coexisting with the chaos and trusting yourself enough to know when to flow, when to rest, when to rebuild. So today, we're diving into the dark side of manifesting. Not to drag it, but to remind ourselves that we don't need to earn alignment, we just need to be human in it. Because if I see one more influencer tell me to wake up at 5 a.m., drink celery juice, and align with abundance, I might actually align with chaos. Listen, there's this new religion on the internet, and it's not even about belief. It's about branding. We've got influencers and manifestation girlies preaching how to attract your dream life. And yet everyone's tired, anxious, and broke from trying to keep up. They've been selling this polished version of alignment, perfect morning light and sage smoke and aesthetic routines. But what they don't tell you is it's a pretty package, but absolutely hollow. The algorithm doesn't reward subtle growth, it rewards performance. So everyone starts performing. But manifestation isn't meant to be a filter, it's meant to be a frequency. It's supposed to be felt, not filmed. So when people copy these routines thinking that's the secret, wake up at 5, journal for gratitude, do 20 minutes of shadow work, sip your mushroom tea, what they're really doing is outsourcing their intuition. The universe doesn't care if your desk is organized or if your candle matches your crystals. It moves when you move. That's the whole game. But here's where it gets tricky, because a lot of us don't even realize how deep the conditioning goes. We've been taught that our lives only count if they look good. That peace requires props. That we're one Stanley Cup, one matching set, one that girl morning away from finally being worthy. And it's not your fault, it's programming. We've been raised in comparison culture, told that beauty equals discipline and discipline equals value. So we decorate our healing instead of feeling it. Here's what I'm learning. It's okay to love aesthetics. It's okay to make your space beautiful, to play with visuals, to express yourself through creativity. But the minute you start performing instead of participating, you lose the plot. You don't need to earn authenticity through minimalism or color grading. Your life as it is, messy, loud, and unfiltered, is already cinematic. You are the scene, not the set design. So yeah, light your candle if that makes you happy. Buy the Stanley if it'll make you drink your water. But don't confuse props for presence. Authenticity is the frequency that moves everything else. Because the universe doesn't respond to your perfection, it responds to your participation. Here's where it gets dangerous. Social media sells you someone else's timeline and then convinces you that you're behind in yours. We start thinking, I can't post until I have the right setup. I can't make content until my space looks perfect. I can't manifest until I fix myself first. That right there, that's manifestation burnout. It's chasing a life you could have built but didn't because you were too busy trying to make it look good first. You don't manifest from perfection, you manifest from participation. That means you start now, messy, confused, half ready, because perfection is just procrastination disguised. And if we're being scientific about it, perfectionism and procrastination are literally twins. There's actual research that shows they activate the same stress responses in our brain. When you set unrealistic expectations for yourself, all start when it's perfect, your brain perceives that task as a threat instead of a challenge. So instead of acting, it freezes. It protects you from failure by convincing you to wait. Neuroscience calls this task paralysis, when the emotional cost of starting imperfectly feels higher than the reward of progress. That's why perfectionists are often the most creative people who never finish things. Because your imagination is overdeveloped, but your self-compassion is under-practiced. So if you've been sitting on an ideal, waiting on the right camera, the right day, the right confidence, just know that's not intuition, that's fear in disguise. The universe doesn't reward perfect, it rewards motion. You move, it moves. That's literal physics, Newton's first law of manifestation. Energy stays stuck until something disrupts it. That something is you. So stop wasting time on another video titled The 5 Things I Did Every Day to Manifest My Dream Life. Because I'm gonna give you the secret right now. What they all have in common. They started. You won't become an award-winning chef if you've never cooked, and you won't find your voice if you never speak. You won't build your dream life if you're still waiting for it to look aesthetic enough to post about. The algorithm can't bless what you've never uploaded, and neither can the universe. So just start. Messy movement is still movement. It's how everything that ever existed began, a little chaotic, a little unplanned, and somehow exactly right. Let's be real for a second. You don't need to wake up every morning glowing and grateful to be aligned. You don't need to float through your day like a monk on a moisturizer commercial. Being human is spiritual. Somewhere along the line, people started treating spirituality like an escape plan. Like if you meditate long enough or raise your frequency just right, you can transcend the messiness of being alive. But the mess is the work. Your spiritual growth isn't happening outside the chaos, it's happening through it, through the arguments, the burnout, the self-doubt, the mornings you want to stay in bed. Those aren't signs that you're failing. That's proof that you're participating. See, the human experience was never meant to be tidy. It's all vibration, the highs, the lows, and all the static in between. The goal isn't to only feel the high frequencies. It's to stop demonizing the low ones. Every emotion you have is just data. Anger, jealousy, boredom, all of it tells you something about where your energy has been living. And when you start to listen instead of label, that's when you actually start to evolve. but we are conditioned to measure our worth by our vibe. Social media has sold us the ideal that spiritual progress looks like a constant calm, as if peace is a performance you can maintain with enough willpower and pastel journaling. But peace isn't a performance. It's a byproduct. It's what naturally happens when you stop pretending that you're okay all of the time. If you want the psychology behind that, your nervous system is wired to seek safety and not perfection. When you suppress emotions to stay positive, your brain actually reads that as danger. That internal tug of war between what you feel and what you think you should feel. That's why forced gratitude, toxic positivity, and fake calmness don't work long term. They create pressure, not peace. You can't high vibe your way out of human biology. So maybe spirituality isn't about escaping humanness. Maybe it's about learning how to hold it without hating it. How to honor your cycles, emotional, hormonal, seasonal, without feeling like you're falling behind. Because here's the truth. You're not behind. There is no behind. You're not supposed to be consistent in a world that's constantly shifting. You're supposed to be conscious, aware enough to adapt when your body, your mind, or the environment changes. That's actual alignment. That's the real frequency shift. Not perfection, but permission. Permission to rest, permission to pivot, permission to be both inspired and irritated in the same hour. Because that's what being human looks like. We've glamorized this dream life so much that people forgot to build a real one. Something that feels good from the inside and not just looks good from the outside. That's what manifestation is supposed to be, not ecstatic control, but energetic collaboration. The universe doesn't want your perfection. It wants your participation. It doesn't care about your filtered gratitude journal. It cares about your actual gratitude, the kind that comes from noticing the smallest things. When you breathe deeper instead of scrolling, when you rest before you crash, when you forgive yourself mid-breakdown. That's manifestation too. So if you're in a messy chapter right now, if your life doesn't look aesthetic, if you're tired of chasing routines that don't feel like you, let that be enough. You don't need to earn your place here. You just need to keep showing up. Every time you start again, even when you don't feel like you're ready, you remind the universe that you're still in the conversation. And that's what manifestation really is, a conversation between your will and your world. You move, it moves. Maybe it's peace, maybe it's clarity, maybe it's the courage to start something you've been too afraid to begin. That counts. That's magic too. Because manifestation isn't about becoming a new person. It's about remembering the power of being the one you already are. If you made it this far, you're my kind of person. You get it, the chaos, the contradiction, the beauty of trying anyways. We're not chasing perfection here. We're just learning to show up in our own way on our own time. So if this hit for you, if it made you feel a little more human or a little less alone, don't just dip out. Stay, subscribe, follow, hit whatever button is in front of you.